Today we're tackling a big one, why your home might look messy. Even after you've been cleaning for 3 days, what is going on? It's not about actual dirt, it's about the things piling up that sometimes you just totally aren't paying attention to. I'm gonna bring them to your attention and it's gonna be eye-opening for you. Let's get started. If at any point during this video you are enjoying it, please give it a big thumbs up. It truly helps my channel out and I'm so appreciative. Number 1, over decorating. Even beautiful decor can start to look like clutter if there's too much of a good thing. If every shelf has a tray, a candle, a stack of books, a plant, a sign that says bless this mess, literally. My solution is you need to edit down. Pick a few of your favorite pieces, set them out, and always allow negative space. Let there be somewhere for your eye to land on and not just so much, because that visual clutter will always look messy. Keep it simple, keep it beautiful, keep it classic. Number 2, appliances on your kitchen counters. Now, I'm not saying you can't have appliances on your kitchen counters. Let's be realistic. But before you know it, you have your air fryer out, you have your toaster out, you have your blender out, you got your coffee maker. The list can go on and on with all the gadgets that we have in our kitchens. But the problem is the more appliances we leave sitting out, the more busy and messy our countertops will look. One of the things that I've noticed that they put in homes that are newer is the little appliance garages where you can just like lift it up and pull all the ones out. Because I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I have to find places for the ones that I use all the time because I don't want to leave them sitting out. So here's my suggestion. If you want to keep your countertops looking nice and clutter-free, to keep your kitchen from looking messy, I think the best thing to do is leave your favorite item out. What do you use every day? Is it your coffee pot? I mean, that's a given. If you know you have toast every morning for breakfast and it's such a pain getting it in and out, the toaster can stay out. But the ones that we're not using on a daily basis, put those away. You'll thank me and your kitchen will thank you when it's looking so sparkly and clean. This is such a flattering angle, but I wanted to talk to you about number 3, and that's too many photo frames sitting around. Don't get me wrong. I know if you follow my channel, you guys know I'm a huge lover of family photos. That's one of my favorite things. There's nothing that brings me more joy than looking at my kids, my grandkids. That brings me total happiness. But if every surface area, every shelf, every mantle has nothing but a bunch of photo frames, it's going to start to feel like a cluttered thrift store. So my suggestion to fix this is to have designated areas. And then areas that you do, keep it light. Like I just have a couple sitting here evenly spaced to where it's not feeling overcrowded. If you watched my living room makeover, you saw that I created a gallery wall to where I have like a designated space for photos. And then that way it helps the space to feel clean and nice. That's going to be the whole motto of this whole thing, is all the little clutter things that we don't realize. And photo setting everywhere can be one of them. Number 4 we talk about here on A Charming Abode often. Now, before I tell you number 4, I obviously was not going to have a blanket thrown on my sofa and it was going to look all beautiful and clean in here. But do you see that little cutie back there? She was dead asleep on the blanket, and so I couldn't move her. So I'm like, whatever. We always keep it real around here. There's Evie sleeping on the thing, being her cute little self. So number 4 is not having a cohesive color palette. So we all love color. Well, the majority of us. Some of you are very neutral, some of you aren't. But picking a palette that goes together and matches nicely, that flows throughout your whole home, should be the goal, and it'll help be pleasing to the eye. One of the things that you have to think about is it doesn't need to be matchy-matchy. But if you have a purple bathroom and a yellow kitchen and an orange dining room, and you know what I mean, when you walk in, that is just overstimulating. Picking a color palette to where you have a few colors that go nicely together and you spread them all throughout can really be a great way to just have flow throughout your home and make it feel intentional. You think Evie will sleep through this whole filming? I would probably bet my life savings on it. Unless she wakes up and starts begging me for a treat. One thing I've become really aware of in my own life is how important it is to protect our brain health as we're getting older. With Jason's dementia, it's really opened my eyes to how much cognitive function really impacts our daily lives and how important it is to start supporting it now and not later. And that's why I'm grateful to have MIDI Health as the sponsor of today's video. MIDI is a virtual care clinic transforming women's health nationwide. And they've created science-backed supplements that were developed specifically for women like us. The one I want to highlight is the Daily Brain Boost. I've come to realize how brain health affects every part of our life, from memory to focus to being present and just feeling sharp that day. It's something I don't want to take for granted, and that's why I love this formula. It combines choline, CoQ10, and B12, which are all known to support long-term brain health and cognitive function. And unlike standing in the supplement aisle, guessing at labels and trying to figure out what's right for our body, MIDI takes all the confusion out. Their supplements are created by clinicians, carefully sourced and delivered in the right dose. Designed for women's changing bodies. No hype, no trend, just science I can feel confident in. So if you want to start taking small steps today that support your energy, your mood, your brain health, and more, head to trymidi.com/acharmingabode. Use my code acharmingabode and you'll receive 35% off your first supplements order. Join the more than 200,000 women who already love and trust MIDI. Don't wait to feel better. The time to take action for your current and future self is now. And a big thank you to MIDI Health for sponsoring today's video. Nothing runs a pretty hutch or entryway than a pile of mail and clutter. I am so guilty of this. And nothing says welcome home like an oil change advertisement. As you all know, one of the best things that you can do is have some type of system, whether that's immediately going through your mail, putting the stuff that you don't want, all the junk and everything, right into recycle, filing away the things that you need to keep, or having a system for bills that you get. This is the best way to eliminate what... Am I going to use my own advice? This is the best way to eliminate this clutter because this definitely makes your house look messy. Okay, but in all seriousness, this is one of my pet peeves that I have with myself because I have a tendency where I feel like, oh, this is really important. I need to keep this. But then I don't put it where it belongs. I don't file it away in the system that I made up for myself because then I think, oh, I'm going to forget about it. So I leave it here. And then things will grow and it'll grow and it'll grow. And then every time I walk by, I'm like, oh, it looks so messy over there. I'll get to that later. So I have to tell myself to quit doing that. I have to make it a priority. And I totally suggest this for you also. We've all been there. The fridge becomes the family bulletin board. Announcements, things we're proud of for the kids. Everything ends up hanging on here. And it becomes an eyesore. Maybe you have grocery lists. Maybe you have magnets. That was one of my big things is I used to have fun little toy magnets on here. Then I realized they just weren't really being used that much. And I was like, why am I keeping this clutter here when it's not even being used? I think nowadays there are a lot more efficient ways to let everyone know what's happening in the world. I have been thinking about getting myself one of those skylight calendars. Have you guys seen those? Obviously, this is not an ad for that. I just was wondering if you guys have seen those, or let me know in the comments if any of you guys have one of those. I've been seeing a lot of people over on Instagram and stuff showing those, and it looks so organized where you can do your meal planning and all the things in your calendars of all this stuff. And I'm like, wow, okay, this is super handy. I've been thinking about getting one of those. So if you have one of them and you think it's worth it, let me know. And I need a discount code for it. We know the more clean and clutter-free that we can keep our refrigerator, obviously the less messy it's going to look. It's getting dark outside. I am filming and I'm losing my daylight. Number 7, laundry everywhere. Me and laundry have a love-hate relationship. And it's more of a hate relationship. Okay, but for real, having a system for your laundry is key. For me personally, I've developed this new way I've been doing laundry, and you guys let me know if this is really weird, but I feel like this is such an empty nester way of doing laundry. I could have never done this back in the day when my girls lived here at home. I don't know why I'm getting off on this, but I thought maybe it might be fun to tell you. I've been having no hamper in my room. Every day when we take our clothes off, I stick them into the washer. Not to do a load, because obviously a shirt and some shorts for 2 people or something like that is not going to be enough for a whole load. So I just throw them in there and I leave it until I have enough clothes for a whole wash. Now you might be saying, well, Leslie, you might have lights and some darks and, how's that working out for you? I feel like what my mom taught me when I was a kid about how I needed to separate my laundry so much, I didn't need to do that. It's just not necessary. Other than if you have, I don't wash my jeans with, my light colored stuff, and I don't wash something brand new that's red with my light colored stuff. But my everyday stuff that we've had for forever, I throw it all in there and wash it together and it doesn't even matter. Have a system for your laundry. Make it work. Have places for it to go. Fold it, put it away. Basically, this is a no-brainer one. It just involves actually having to do the work, which the majority of us don't want to have to do. All right, number 8 of things that can make your house look messy is cords and cables. This has been a pet peeve of mine, and I will do anything to hide my cords and cables. You know, there's cord covers, and then my number 1 trick, hiding it behind a cord. I do this all the time. Basically, I have this TV here, and then this then it comes down, it has to plug in down here. Oh my goodness, I'm sitting on the floor, and both of my dogs are gonna come over here and think that it's like time to start playing. Okay, so if you hear them tippy-tapping around, that's what's happening. But as you can see, even right here, I put these books. They were strategically placed. You think so, mister? They were strategically placed in order to hide behind it is the plug-in, and the cord goes over there. Just little things like that can make such a difference and make it look, curated and nice and lovely, instead of the cords just being visible to everything. There are some people who watch these videos and they act like we're being pretentious, or, we're just having fun, right? And a lot of people enjoy getting ideas from these videos. Don't ever take them too seriously. But thank you for watching and being a part of all this, because I think it's fun. I love to learn little tips and tricks like that to do anything to make my home look better, because I feel like it's an extension of who I am. It brings me a lot of pride and joy because I spend so much time in my home. I want it to look the best, but don't anybody get their panties in a bunch over these silly little things. We're just having fun. I said panties in a bunch. Number 9 is overfilled bookcases. I had to come down here to my basement to the entertainment center around my TV because I realized I don't really have any bookcases around. Bookcases can be gorgeous when they're decorated correctly, but if they're overfilled and every space is jam-packed full of something, that's gonna look cluttered and messy. It is so good to have negative space. I've said this over and over, but I don't think until you realize it that it's okay to have some empty space, because then it leaves space for your eye to have something to land on. So then if you have 3 beautiful pieces instead of 10 all jammed, just all these little figurines and all this stuff, your eye has nowhere to go. It's just looking at all this clutter. And so you can't see the detail, so you don't even realize how pretty maybe that figurine is. Spreading it out, giving it space. This is how you can make it look beautiful and not messy. I think the biggest takeaway you can take from number 9 is to style it like a display, not like storage. I'm getting tired of running around my house. I'm going to sit here for the last few. Number 10, too much stuff on your bathroom counter sinks. I'm so guilty. I have an electric toothbrush. I have a curling iron. I have hair products. I have toothpaste. All these things that I'm constantly leaving sitting on my counter. And I know this is why it looks messy. I try my hardest to store it in areas that are close to where I'm going to use it and have a system. I have baskets. I have drawers. I have different things like that to where if I use the product, I try and put the product back. So pay attention to how much product and how many items you have sitting on your bathroom sink, because if a guest ever comes over, they don't need to know that you have 5 different dry shampoos. I don't have 5 different. I have one favorite, but it's probably sitting on my counter. Oh, this is a big one. I should be filming this in my living room, but too many throw pillows. I think throw pillows make a huge difference on decorating. It can really add style and class. But if you have too many throw pillows, that will do nothing but make your sofa look messy. You'll walk in, the living room will feel cluttered, and there's nowhere to sit. Everybody's moving the pillows and they're setting them on the ground. I had someone recently comment that they thought that I didn't have enough pillows, or that my pillows were too small for my sectional. But that is where I chose function over form, because if people come over, my kids and my grandkids, and we go to sit on the sofa, if all we're ever doing is constantly moving pillows down to the floor or out of the way, that is just nothing but mess that's not needed. So I like to have just a couple throw pillows to where it looks pretty and it goes lovely with the room. but not so many that the room looks messy. So keep that in mind when you're placing throw pillows on your sofa. And while we're talking, let's move right into number 12. While we're talking about furniture and like throw pillows and all that, you know what can make your room look messy? What can just keep it looking just kind of ucky? Is either the wrong size furniture or too much furniture. My grandma, I've talked about this in the past, my grandma, I love to go visit her, but there was not a space that wasn't covered with some form of furniture. All the way around the room, there was seating and little tables and there was something everywhere. Having the correct size furniture for your room and having the appropriate amount of furniture for your room can make all the difference on whether or not your room looks messy and cluttered or it looks, curated and just beautiful. Number 13, go ahead and just put a big guilty sign right here above my head, flashing. This is me. Shoes by the front door. There is nothing messier looking than walking in and all there is a big pile of dirty shoes sitting by the front door. Have a system. 1, don't leave them there if you don't have to. Or 2, have a place that you can put them away. Shelves, a bookcase, nice, I don't have anything next to my front door that's really appropriate, but I do have a little hall closet I could put them in, or my bedroom's right around the corner. Go put your shoes up, Leslie. This will make this area look a million times better. I'm not kidding. Even 1 or 2 pairs of shoes sitting out in the open by the front door can make it look cluttered. Nothing says welcome home like tripping over some sneakers when you walk in the door. Number 14 is a tricky one because 1, you're probably going to feel accomplished because you did the dishes, but clean dishes sitting out on the counter to dry, oh my goodness, is not my jam. I feel like it's let's just dry them and put them away. Just get them put away. I have a tendency to use a little folding mat. I don't actually have a rack, and every once in a while I'll do some large pot and I'll leave it there to dry for a little bit. And even if I'm walk out of the kitchen and it's 10 minutes later and I'll walk back in and I'll be ooh, okay, I'm ready to put that pot away. Pulling out a dish towel, drying it, and getting it put away. If you've already went to the trouble of cleaning the dishes, you might as well just go ahead and put it away, and then you're going to feel super accomplished because then when you look around at your countertops and your sink and everything's cleared off, there will be no mess. Number 15, hear me out. This is a sneaky one. You ready? It's actually 2 things. Dirty windows and dingy lighting. If you have dingy lighting in your home where it's just kind of that dark, drabby lighting, that can make your house feel kind of dirty. Even though it isn't dirty, but it'll just give that appearance of just being kind of dingy. And dirty windows. Your dog's nose paw prints all over the doors. Jason going in and out of this door and out to a sunroom, and I can just see his handprints all over it. The sun shines in and I'm like, oh my goodness, it looks so messy. And it's just because the windows are dirty. I think these are little things that sometimes we don't think of. Having that heavy drapery can really make things just feel dingy, and one yellow light bulb and streaky windows and that type of thing. You're just setting yourself up for a messy feel. Which one of these is your biggest struggle? Drop it in the comments and let me know. I promise you are not alone. I hope you guys enjoyed these 15 tips. Thank you to MIDI Health for sponsoring today's video. We'll see you guys again next week. Bye-bye.